wanted headlines or a second chance. It didn't chase tomorrow or borrow its stance. It stood on what was written with a steady hand, a song that never asked for more than where it stands. I've seen music reach too far trying to stay alive, but this one knew its limits, and that's how it survived. It didn't beg the listener or knock at every door. It trusted truth would carry it and never asked for more. It's a song that never asked for more and still remains. It didn't bend its meaning or soften its name. It stayed enough by being real down to its core. It's a song that never asked for more. I hear it when the road is quiet and the night is wide. It doesn't try to lead me, it just walks beside. I don't need it louder now or dressed in gold. It's a song that never asked for more, never grew old. Asking less doesn't mean settling, it means knowing what is true. Some songs last forever by not asking you. It's a song that never asked for more, and that's why it stays. It doesn't fear tomorrow or yesterday. I don't question how it lived this long or what it's for. It's a song that never asked for more. Strings breathe. Truth rests. There's a sound that doesn't hurry, doesn't ask to be new. It was here before the questions, and it'll stay after two. You hear it in the distance of an old AM radio, still telling the same truth it's always known. It doesn't change its clothing when the seasons roll. It doesn't chase tomorrow or try to stay young. It just keeps breathing slowly through steel strings in time, like it was never written for a single life. It's a sound older than the years, still alive today, not frozen in the past, just walking its own way. It doesn't fade, it doesn't bend when fashions come undone. It's a sound older than the years, and it still sounds like home. I've heard louder voices come and go, burn bright then disappear, but this one never raised its voice, it just stayed right here. It waited for the listener to grow into the tone. Turns out some songs aren't aging, they're just being known. Time doesn't touch what's honest, it only clears the dust. Some sounds don't live in memory, they live in trust. It's a sound older than the years, and it still remains, not trapped inside a moment or a name. I don't ask it where it's been, where it's from. It's a sound older than the years, and it still sounds like home. Needle turns, true stays. I've seen sounds twist themselves thin, trying to fit the time, changing shapes, changing colors, crossing every line. But this one stood like an old fence, weathered straight and true, a sound that never learned to bend, no matter what it knew. It didn't fight the changing days or argue with the rain. It stayed right where it was born and let the world explain. Every year just passed it by, like trains it didn't board, a sound that never learned to bend, never broke its word. It's a sound that never learned to bend, and that's why it stands. It didn't trade its backbone for louder plans. It trusted time would do the rest without a cent. It's a sound that never learned to bend. I hear it when I need the truth without disguise. It doesn't sell me answers or tell me lies. It stays the same from start to end, clear and direct, a sound that never learned to bend, still learns respect. Bending isn't surviving when truth already lives. Some songs last forever by not giving what they can't give. It's a sound that never learned to bend, and now I see it wasn't stubbornness, it was integrity. I don't ask it to move with time or recommend. It's a sound that never learned to bend. Still rings low, ground holds. was a voice in every record that never tried to bend. It didn't chase a newer sound or dress itself in trends. It stood where it was planted through silence and acclaim, a voice that knew its purpose and never needed change. I used to think survival meant learning how to shift, but truth doesn't move its footing just because the world does. That voice stayed calm and grounded when others rearranged. It knew that lasting meant never needing change. It's a voice that never needed change to still be heard. It didn't soften truth or sharpen every word. It trusted time to meet it halfway down the lane. It's a voice that never needed change. I hear it clearer now than then, because I slowed my pace. I stopped asking what it promised and listened to its face. It didn't tell me who to be or what to rearrange. It just stayed true to what it was and never needed change. Change doesn't mean improvement when truth already stands. Some voices last forever by staying in their hands. It's a voice that never needed change and still remains, not polished by the future or chained. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or why it came. It's a voice that never needed change. Truth stays. It was big before the world got loud, before the race, before the crowd, and songs had time to breathe and stand on nothing more than heart and hand. No need to shout, no need to shine, just truth laid down in real time. I hear it now beneath the noise, like a calm, unbroken voice. Doesn't push or pull me fast. It reminds me how to last. Some sounds gone back to be allowed. They were built before the world got loud. Before the world got loud, and it still holds ground. It doesn't fear the changing bass or the shifting sound. trusted time to do its part, and let truth speak proud. Built before the world got lost. I've chased a few bright moments myself. Fox weave was something I've excelled. The meaning waits where silence grows, and patience teaches what it knows. This song didn't need a crowd. It was built before the world got loud. Loud fades quick, but truth stays near. A dozen hush, it doesn't fear. Some songs survive by staying calm long after trends are gone. Built before the world got loud, and I hear it clear. It didn't change when times did. It stayed right here. I know lost it to explain. Oh, down. Built before the world got loud. String some, truth stays. Before the lights and leaded sounds, before the polish shine, there was a song with fingerprints and a simple line. It didn't try to be perfect or clean its scars. It sounded like real people under open stars. I hear it in the spaces where voices crack, where stories don't end happy, but they don't go black. It doesn't dress up heartbreak or hide the truth. Country music stayed human and stayed true. This is country music that stayed human all the way through. It didn't trade its heartbeat for something new. It carried love and leaving in the same tune. This is country music that stayed human. I don't need it louder now or smoothed out clean. I trust the sound that lets me hear what life means. It doesn't pretend the road was easy or fair. It just sings it how it happened because it cares. Human is isn't flawless, it's honest and plain. Some songs live forever by feeling the same. This is country music that stayed human, and I'm glad it did. It didn't promise heaven or hide the lid. I don't ask it to be anything else or prove it's true. This is country music that stayed human. Radio hums, life breathes. Thought I had to find my sound somewhere far ahead, chasing noise and bright ideas of things I never said. But this music stayed behind me, patient and still, waiting for the moment I'd finally slow my will. Didn't follow trends or names or promise something new. It trusted I would come around when I was ready to. Now every steel note feels like home, every word feels free. Turns out country music wasn't late, it was waiting for me. This is country music that waited for me. Didn't knock, didn't call, it stayed where truth was spoken against the wall. I don't rush it now, I finally see this is country music that waited for me. It just opens up the door and lets me be. Waiting isn't standing still, it's trusting where you stand. Some songs know how to wait until you understand. This is country music that waited for me, and I hear it clear. It didn't change when I did, it stayed right here. I don't ask it to prove itself or set me free. This is country music that waited for me. Radio low, home sounds near. I watched whole eras vanish like dust along the road. They left behind a few old signs no one reads anymore. But this sound stayed breathing underneath the noise. Country music didn't disappear, it made a choice. It didn't scream for attention or fight to stay alive. They trusted living honestly was how you survive. Every steel note carries weight, every lyric stands. Country that refused to disappear. This is country that refused to disappear, and I hear it now. It didn't beg the years for mercy or ask me how. It stayed human, stayed grounded, stayed sincere. This is country that refused to disappear. I play it when the night is long and the road feels wide. It doesn't promise easy answers or take a side. It just tells the truth and leaves it there. Country that refused to disappear because it cared. Disappearing happens when you chase instead of stand. Some sounds survive the years by staying human. This is country that refused to disappear, and I'm glad it did. It didn't trade its backbone for something hid. I don't ask it to become anything new. This is country that refused to disappear. Radio low. Roots deep. There's a kind of country music time never figured out. It doesn't break or wear away when the world spins light. It lives in honest voices, in songs that don't pretend. They don't shout their meaning, they let it land. And watch styles rise and fall like signs along the road. But this sound keeps walking with the same old soul. It doesn't fear tomorrow or regret the past. It just plays the truth slowly, so it lasts. It's country that time couldn't touch, not because it tried, but because it never needed to change its side. That's country that time couldn't touch. If love ever needs a language, I know what it should be. Not louder than feeling, just honest and free. No polish, no disguise, no borrowed shine, just words that know the weight of time. Time respects what stands still without turning cold. Some sounds stay alive because they're told. That's country that time couldn't touch, and I hear it now. It didn't wait for permission or ask me how. They met me where I was standing and asked for trust. That's country that time couldn't touch. Steel rings low, truth remains. It didn't come with fireworks or something to defend. It walked in like an old belief that didn't need an end, while other sounds kept moving on, afraid of yesterday. This one stood still long enough to learn how to stay. I didn't notice at first that I was moving fast. I thought survival meant outrunning the past, but this sound never hurried or asked to be saved. It trusted stillness more than speed and learned how to stay. It learned how to stay without holding tight. It didn't fear the morning or the night. It stayed by being honest, not by getting its way. It learned how to stay. I hear it when I stop asking what comes next, when I let the moment finish without a test. It doesn't chase my attention or pull me astray. It just stands where it was written and stays. Staying isn't refusing to move, it's knowing you're true. Some say goodbye. I don't ask it to promise more or explain. It learned how to stay and remain. Strings hold steady. Ground listens. It never needed an else. Every time the weather changed, trying to look like something else just to stay in the game. But this one kept its given name and never rearranged. It stood exactly where it started and stayed the same. Didn't chase a better label or a trend to wear it. Trusted what it already was would get there. Every word still fits its place. Every note still lands. It never needed a new name to understand. It never needed a new name or a disguise. It didn't sharpen its edges or polish its lies. It stayed honest in its bones and unashamed. It never needed a new name. I hear it when I don't want answers, just something true. It doesn't tell me what to think, it walks me through. I don't need it reintroduced or framed. It never needed a new name. Names change, truth doesn't. It stands where it's placed. Some songs last forever by keeping their face. It never needed a new name, and neither did I. I stopped trying to be something else just to get by. I let the sound remind me what remains. It never needed a new name. Title fades, meaning stays. It was written in a small room without a second thought. No plan to chase tomorrow, no future being bought. Just words laid down honestly with nowhere else to go. A moment caught in melody that didn't need to grow. Years went by like open doors, some slammed, some stayed. But this one walked through all of them without being changed. It didn't ask the times for mercy or beg to fit. It outlived the moment it was born in, bit by bit. It outlived the moment it was born in, and that's rare. It didn't age into something else or disappear. It trusted truth would hold its ground and always win. It outlived the moment it was born in. I hear it now with different ears than years ago. It didn't change its message, I just learned it slow. Some songs don't belong to moments, they belong to men and women walking through their lives again and again. Moments pass but meaning stays when it's written right. Some songs survive the years by never chasing time. It outlived the moment it was born in, and I understand. It wasn't made for seasons, it was made to stand. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or where it's been. It outlived the moment it was born in. Needle lifts, truth remains. I've seen memories wear numbers like they're stamped in time, but this one never learned the habit of standing in line. It didn't belong to any season or any year. It just stayed right where it was and stayed clear. I stopped asking when it happened or how long it's been. Some truths don't come with timestamps, they live within. They don't age or need reminders or need a gate. This one's still here breathing without a date. It's still here without a date and still feels true. It didn't fade with passing years or something new. It didn't ask the calendar to validate. It's still here without a date. I hear it when I don't need proof or context lines. It doesn't live in then or now. It ignores time. If love ever needs a measure, this is the rate. Something's still alive without a date. Time only owns what asks for it. Truth never does. Some songs live outside the years because it's still here without a date, and I'm okay. And I don't need to know when it arrived or went away. I let it be what it has always been, unchanged. It's still here without a date. It's still here without a date, and I'm okay. I don't need to know when it arrived or went away. I let it be what it has always been, unchanged. It's still here without a date. Clock fades, meaning stays. I've watched 1,000 songs lose shape as years went by. They changed their clothes, changed their voice to stay alive. But this one kept its mirror clean and clear, still honest when the years pass, year after year. It didn't fear the passing days or what they'd take. It trusted truth would age just fine without a break. Every word still fits the frame, every note still hears. It's still honest when the years pass, still honest when the years pass, still standing tall. It didn't trade its backbone for a call. It stayed where it was written and stayed clear, still honest when the years pass, year after year. I hear it now with open ears I didn't have before. I needed time to meet the song at its door. Now I don't rush the melody or second guess. Some songs last forever by staying honest. Honesty doesn't rust with time, it sharpens when it's real. Some truths don't fade away, still honest when the years pass. And I agree, it wasn't written for the moment, it was written for me. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or why it appears, still honest when the years pass. Truth stays. I've seen songs lose their shine trying too hard to stay young. They changed their clothes, changed their sound, and forgot where they're from. But this one stayed exactly where it was first laid down, still playing in the quiet places without changing a sound. Didn't fear the passing years or the rise of something new. It trusted that the right ears would eventually come through. It waited like an old friend who doesn't ask you why, just sits with you until you hear what never said goodbye. It's still playing after all this time, not loud or not warm. It didn't chase the future more. It stayed true to what it was when it was first sung. It's still playing after all this time, and it's still young. I hear it when the night gets still and the road runs long. It doesn't tell me what to feel, it lets me belong. I don't need it to explain itself or draw a line. It's still playing after all this time. Time doesn't age what stands its ground, it only tests its frame. Some songs survive the years by staying the same. It's still playing after all this time, and I hear it clear. It didn't bend or disappear when trends came near. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or where it's been. It's still playing after all this time, and it still wins. Radio fades, truth hums. Never chased the sunlight or tried to be seen. It learned how to stand quietly in between. While others fought the daylight and burned too fast, this one chose a different road and learned how to last. I used to think shadow meant something had failed, but there's strength in knowing you don't need to prevail. It stayed close to the ground where truth is found, still standing in its own shadow, unbowed. It's still standing in its own shadow and holding ground. It didn't trade its center for a louder sound. It trusted time to circle back and show it's still standing in its own shadow. I hear it when I don't need proof or a reason why. It doesn't promise miracles or sell me sky. It just stays honest where it is and lets me know that standing still can be a choice and not a loss. Shadow is an absence, it's light understood. Some songs stand strongest when they know they could. It's still standing in its own shadow, and I respect that now. It didn't ask the years for mercy or ask me how. I don't need it lifted higher or dressed in gold. It's still standing in its own shadow and growing old. Sun lowers ground holds. I've seen sounds move with the crowd, change names, change skin, but this one stayed where it started and let the world spin. It didn't fear the future or argue with the past. It trusted roots more than motion and learned how to last. I used to think standing still meant falling behind, but there's strength in knowing where you draw the line. This sound didn't need permission or a second plan. It stayed standing where it began. It's still standing where it began, not frozen, not old, just honest in the way truth holds. It didn't chase the spotlight or need a friend. It's still standing where it began. I hear it late in the evening when roads are long. It doesn't tell me what to feel, it lets me belong. It's not louder than the years or stronger than the rain. It's just still standing where it began. Standing isn't refusing to move, it's choosing what you are. Some sounds last forever by knowing where they start. It's still standing where it began, and I respect that now. It didn't ask the years for mercy or ask me how. I don't need it to explain itself or pretend. It's still standing where it began. It's still standing where it began, and I respect that now. It didn't ask the years for mercy or ask me how. I don't need it to explain itself or pretend. It's still standing where it began. Ground holds. I've watched the world rewrite itself 1,000 times or more. Change the names, change the rules, change what mattered before. But this sound stayed where it was born and never been. Still true after all these years, without regret. It didn't fear being forgotten or left behind. It trusted what was written deep would age just fine. Every line still carries weight, every note still hears. It's still true after all these years. Still true after all these years, and standing strong. It didn't chase the future or prove it belonged. It stayed honest in its bones and clear. Still true after all these years. I hear it when the road is long and the night feels wide. It doesn't tell me who to be, it walks beside. I don't need new words for it or a different view. Some things last forever by staying true. Truth doesn't fade with passing days, it deepens when it's real. Some songs don't age at all, they just reveal. Still true after all these years, and here I stand, grateful for a sound that knew what it was from the start. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or why it appears. Still true after all these years. Last note fades, truth remains. Some songs try to outrun the years like time's an enemy. They race ahead, they dress themselves in borrowed energy. But this one stood with open hands and never tried to hide. It knew time isn't something to beat, it's something to survive. It didn't fear the passing days or changing points of view. It trusted what was written true would stay true. Every verse feels anchored, every note intact. This is the kind of song time steps back from. This is the kind of song time respects and leaves alone. It doesn't need to be updated or retold. It stands where it was written without regret. This is the kind of song time respects. I hear it clearer now than then, because I've lived enough to know that truth doesn't need to be loud or tough. Some songs earn their place by staying direct. This is the kind of song time respects. Respect isn't fear or distance, it's knowing when not to interfere. Some songs last forever because time listens here. This is the kind of song time respects, and I do too. It didn't chase the world or try to break through. I don't ask it how it stayed alive or what it checked. This is the kind of song time respects. Clock slows, Some sounds knock hard on every door, asking to be heard. Others sit and listen first and speak only when they're sure. This one never chased a stage or hurried its own pace. It knew the right ears would arrive and find it in its place. I didn't hear it when I was young. I was running fast and blind. I thought answers lived in motion, not in taking time. But life has a way of slowing you till you finally relate to the kind of sound that knows how to wait. This is the kind of sound that waits without growing cold. It doesn't fear being overlooked or growing old. It trusts the listener will change and come around. This is the kind of sound that waits. I play it when the night is still and thoughts begin to land. It doesn't tell me what to feel, it helps me understand. I don't need it louder now, I don't need it great. I just need the kind of sound that waits. Waiting isn't standing still, it's choosing when to speak. Some truths arrive quietly when they're finally needed. This is the kind of sound that waits. And now I see it wasn't late, it wasn't lost, it was waiting on me. I don't rush it or explain its way. This is the kind of sound that waits. Radio low, meaning close. They said everything needs help now, needs fixing, needs a sign, needs a reason to keep breathing, needs another line. But this one walked in steady with nothing to prove. It didn't need a rescue, it already knew. I've seen songs beg for attention, fade when it's gone, but this one trusted silence to carry it on. It didn't fear being forgotten or misread. It knew a song that's true doesn't need to be saved. This is the song that didn't need saving. It knew how to stay. It didn't ask the world for mercy or beg its way. It stood where it was written, brave and plain. This is the song that didn't need saving. I hear it when I stop trying to be more than I am. It doesn't lift me up, it lets me stand. If truth ever needs a witness, I know its name. It's the song that didn't need saving. Saving isn't lasting when truth already lives. Some songs survive forever by being what they needle stills, truth breathes. Wasn't built on what comes next, what it might become. I didn't borrow hope from plans or wait for anyone. It stood complete the day it came, without a second view. A sun that didn't need the future to be true. I've seen music lean too far ahead and lose its frame, but this one trusted what it was and stayed the same. I didn't fear being finished or misunderstood. I know a song can be enough if it's good. This is the sound that didn't need the future to survive. I didn't ask tomorrow to feel alive. It stood whole in the present, through and through. This is the sound that didn't need the future. I hear it now without asking where it leads. It doesn't sell me answers, my feet, my needs. It reminds me some things matter without a plan. Some truths don't point ahead, they help you stand. The future isn't proof of worth or what is real. Some songs arise complete in how they feel. This is a sign chasing what comes next to justify. Let the moment hold its ground and stay true. This is the sound didn't need the future. Last chord settles. Now is enough. Never tried to sit up front or fight to be heard. It didn't dress itself in noise or sharpen every word. It found a place between the lines where honesty stays, a sound that knew exactly where it belonged to stay. I didn't hear it when I rushed past meaning and pace. I thought louder meant important and speed meant grace. Now every note feels centered, every pause feels right. The sound that knew its place outlasted the night. It's a sound that knew its place and didn't move. It trusted time would come around and prove. It didn't fear being overlooked or erased. It's a sound that knew its place. Play it when I need the truth without disguise. It doesn't try to change my mind or open my eyes. It lets me see myself without debate. That's the power of a sound that knows its place. Knowing where you stand is stronger than control. Some songs stay alive by not taking every role. It's a sound that knew its place and now I hear. It wasn't quiet because it was weak, it was clear. I don't need it louder now or faster paced. It's a sound that knew its place. It's a sound that knew its place and now I hear. It wasn't quiet because it was weak, it was clear. I don't need it louder now or faster paced. It's the sound that knew its place. Notes settle, ground holds. Some sounds belong to moments, some fade when moments do. But this one walks beside you, no matter what you move through. It doesn't ask where you're going or where you've been. It lives in the space between heartbeats, where truth begins. I've heard it under old headlights and brand new skies. It sounds the same in every place because it's alive. It never feared the ticking clock or tried to outrun. It knew time was only listening and not the one. This is the sound that lives past time, not frozen, not new. It carries something human straight through. It doesn't age, it doesn't fade or draw a line. This is the sound that lives past time. If this is where the road ends, I'm fine right here. I've heard enough to know what lasts and what's sincere. I don't need another version or a sign. I found the sound that lives past time. Living past time doesn't mean forever, it means being real. Some songs don't beat the clock, they make it kneel. This is the sound that lives past time. And now I know it wasn't written for the future or long ago. It stands exactly where it belongs, aligned. This is the sound that lives past time. Needle lifts, silence listens. They didn't dress it up in promises or sell it as a dream. They wrote it plain and honest, like it was meant to be seen. And no rush to make it perfect, no fear of being real. They trusted truth would age just fine and always feel. I used to think meaning needed a louder kind of sound, but truth sits still and waits for you when the noise burns down. Every word feels anchored, every line holds fast. Some things weren't written for the moment, they were written to last. The truth was written to last, not to impress. It didn't chase the spotlight or dress its best. It stood where it was placed and held its ground. The truth was written to last, and it still sounds. I hear it clearer now than then, because I slowed my pace. I stopped asking what it promised and listened to its face. It doesn't shout its meaning or try to persuade. It just stands there patiently unchanged. Lasting doesn't mean staying loud, it means staying true. Some words outlive time because they were you. The truth was written to last, and now I know it wasn't made for passing. Years is made to grow. I don't question how it stayed alive or how it passed. The truth was They wrote it like they meant it. No hurry, no disguise, no promise of tomorrow, no fear of goodbyes. They didn't chase the moments, were dressed to entertain. It stood where it was written and stayed the same. I heard it when I was younger, but I didn't hear it light. I needed louder answers and a faster kind of life. Now every word feels heavier, every pause feels true. Funny how a song can wait until it fits you. This song never learned to age. It doesn't get old, it just gets deeper. Every truth it told, it doesn't belong to yesterday or tomorrow's pace. This song never learned to date. I played it late at night when the world was quiet. It didn't try to comfort me, it just stayed honest. No tricks, no shine, no reason to impress. It trusted time enough to do the rest. Aging isn't wearing out, it's learning how to stay. Some songs don't change at all, we're the ones who change. This song never learned to age, and now I see it wasn't written for the moment. It was written for me. And I don't need it louder, I don't need it brave. This song never learned age. Last chord hums, years listen. Never try to catch the moment or ride the latest wave. It didn't fear tomorrow or ask how long it'd stay. It moved the way old rivers do, unbothered by the shore. A sound that understood patience and never asked for more. I heard it once when I was younger, but I walked right past. I needed faster answers, didn't know how to last. Now every note feels heavier, every silence true. Turns out this sound wasn't waiting, it was waiting for you. This sound refused to rush, and that's why survive. It didn't chase the daylight or fight the tide. It trusted time to listen instead of making noise. This sound refused I don't need it new. I hear myself inside it more than I ever knew. Some songs don't age with years, they age with you. This sound refused to rush and stay true. Rushing breaks what's honest, stillness lets it breathe. Some truths only last when they're allowed to be. This sound refused to rush, and it still remains, not polished by the future, but changed. I don't ask it where it's been or why it stayed alive. This sound refused to rush, and that's why it survived. Time listens. Time listens. When the lights shut down early and the room learns to breathe, when the crowd stops asking what you're supposed to be, and there's a sound that steps forward without asking why. It's been waiting in the corners of a quieter life. I've heard promises collapse under their own weight, but this one never promised more than it could say. It didn't dress itself in echoes or borrow a tone. It knew what would endure when the noise was gone. This is what endures when the noise is gone. Not the shine, not the race. It's the truth that never needed a louder place. It stays when the night gets honest and the road runs long. This is what endures when the noise is gone. Don't reach for it in crowds, I meet it when I'm still. It doesn't pull me forward, it strengthens my will. If love ever needs a measure, I know what it means. It's what stays with you quietly between the scenes. Endurance isn't volume, it's staying power. Some truths outlast the storm by never shouting louder. This is what endures when the noise is gone, and I hear it clear. It didn't change with the seasons or disappear. I don't ask it to explain itself or carry on. This is what endures when the noise is gone. Room goes still, truth remains. last note finally settles and the room goes still, when the echo stops pretending it has more to fill, there's a space that isn't empty. It's honest and wide. That's where the meaning waited the whole time. I used to fear the ending, like it took something away, but endings only clear the sound so truth can stay. This song never begged for one more line or tried to defend. It trusted what it gave was enough in the end. This is what remains when the song ends, not silence, not a loss. It's the truth that didn't need another cause. It stays when the music steps aside and pretends. This is what remains when the song ends. If love ever leaves the room, I won't chase it down. I'll listen for what stayed behind in the quiet sound. Some songs finish perfectly when they stop trying to send what they already said to the end. Endings don't erase meaning, they reveal where it lives. Some songs last forever by knowing when to quit. This is what remains when the song ends, and I can hear it was never about the volume or the year. I don't ask it to return again or pretend. This is what remains when the song ends. Silence breathes, truth stays. Every ballad knows a moment when the last note has to fall. Not because the feeling's gone, but because it's said it all. Silence doesn't mean the ending, it means the truth arrived. It means the song did what it came to do and let itself survive. I don't need another chorus or one more reason why. Some songs finish perfectly when they don't try. They step aside and trust the space they've carefully designed, and leave the meaning breathing in the listener's time. That's when the ballad fades to silence, and I stay right here, not reaching for another sound or fighting the clear. I don't need the music louder to feel alive. That's when the ballad fades so does time. If this is where the story rests, I'm grateful for the ride, for every word that taught me how to stand, not hide. I don't fear the quiet ending or what it might imply. Some truths sound strongest after the last goodbye. Silence isn't empty, it's full of what was said. Some songs end gently because they've already led. That's when the ballad fades to silence, and I understand it was never about the ending, it was about the hand that walked with me through every line until the end of time. That's when the ballad fades to silence. Needle lifts, glow remains. There's a place in every song where time loosens its grip, where you stop counting seconds and just let meaning sit. This one found that place early and never went back, and didn't argue with the years. It stepped off the track. I used to think time was something you had to outrun, but it softens when you stop asking what's been done. This song never chased tomorrow. We tried to explain, it waited till time got tired and let go of its chain. This is where time finally let go, and truth stayed near. We didn't need another season or a year. It stood outside the hurry and the show. This is where time finally let go. I hear it when the road is won and nothing needs to change. It doesn't tell me where I am or rearrange. It lets me breathe inside the sound without control. That's the phrase where time steps back and lets go. Letting go isn't losing ground. It's knowing when you've arrived. Some songs escape the clock by being alive. This is where time finally let go, and I understand. It wasn't written for the moment. It was written to stand. I don't chase the feeling anymore, or say no. This is where time finally let go. Clock slows, meaning stays. Feels like this song to me before I knew myself, like it waited on a shelf beyond time and help. It wasn't meant for fashion or a moment's praise. It sounds like something written before the years arrived. I didn't understand it then. I was moving fast. I thought the future mattered more than learning from the past. But some words don't belong to youth or age. They belong to whoever's listening on that page. This was written before the years arrived, and it still fits now. Not because it changed its voice, but because I know how to listen without needing proof, or a sign. This was written before the years when the world stands still. It doesn't try to heal me, but somehow it will. It carries something steady through dust and time, like it was never meant to be confined. Some songs aren't written for people, they're written for truth. They find you when you're ready, not when you're young. This was written before the years arrived, and it still stands tall. It didn't need to chase a place in history's hall. I don't ask it to explain itself over line. This was written before the years arrive. Paper fades, truth stays. Some songs are written carefully inside the hands of time. Others find a quieter place beyond the ticking line. This one wasn't hurried or framed to fit a date. It found a space where clocks don't go and learned how to wait. I didn't hear it fully once when I measured life in speed. I thought meaning lived in answers, not in listening. Now every line feels anchored, every note feels real, like it was written somewhere time couldn't steal. This was written where time couldn't reach or leave a scar. It doesn't belong to yesterday or where we are. It meets you when you listen, not when you compete. This was written where time couldn't reach. I've watched years erase the shine from songs that tried too hard, but this one trusted silence and kept its guard. It didn't fear being forgotten or losing heat. It knew truth doesn't disappear, it just repeats. Clocks only rule the surface, truth lives underneath. Some songs survive the years because they're written deep. Oh, this was written where time couldn't reach, and now I know it wasn't made to chase the world or steal the show. I don't ask it it where it's been, or why it stayed complete. This was written where time couldn't read. This was written where time couldn't reach. And now I know it wasn't made to chase the world or steal the show. I don't ask it where it's been or why it stayed complete. This was written where time couldn't read. Ink rests, years pass.